All right, Hotspot continues, everybody. We are live on YouTube, on Facebook, and on KUAM TV8. Once again, I'm Jason Salas. Thanks so much for watching or streaming us, everybody. Now, all week, if you didn't know, our friends at GPA, the Power Authority, will be recognizing National Drive Electric Week. They're here to talk about the benefits of EVs. I know you've been hearing it. If you spend 5 minutes on Instagram, somebody's talking about an EV and they're showing off. And for very good reason. They're really, really cool, and they're going to save you money. So GPA and our friends at Cars Plus are here to talk about an upcoming event. On Friday, September 30th, we have Sean Spindell, sales manager over at Cars Plus. So Sean, good to see you, man.
Nice to see you, Jason.
All right. Vic Torres is a cousin of mine, so I got to get this interview right. And Vic, of course, is in engineering over at GPA. Half a day?
Yes, half a day.
Good to see you, man. It's been a while. And then John Cruz, way over there. Technically, you're in Dedido at this point because we're so far apart. But of course, you are one of the in management at GPA. So we welcome all three of you, and really, really cool that we're talking about this event because, you know, EVs aren't just like a trending thing, or it's not just, you know, it's the cool fancy thing, you know, if you've got money left over from PUA. This is really where the auto industry is heading. And everybody's got to get on board because, you know, it's going to save you money, it's better for the planet. So Sean, I'd like you to kind of just kick us off. Why are EVs so important on Guam? We see a few every now and then and everything, but this is really the future.
I mean, with the EV, the electric vehicles in general, it's very important on the island because one, it's going to help with the emissions, it's going to help protect the island as far as like the waste that's being produced due to like the gas, having to go to the gas station, you know, constantly buying plastics and all of that. But with like the electric vehicles in general, everything is gearing towards electric vehicles. I know with like California and the US in general, they're tabling by like 30, 35. For California, they want to be fully electric, and then with the US, they're going to follow suit for the rest. But like with the island, we don't drive very far. Electric vehicles, their range is perfect for the island. You know, with most electric vehicles looking at about 200, 250 miles of range, up to about 330. It's ideal for the island. You drive Monday through Saturday, charge it up the next day, and you're good to go for the rest of the week.
Now, of course, the two guys sitting next to you are you know, experts in power production and, more importantly, power consumption from people like me. So, Vic, I know GPA is really on board, and of course, National Drive Electric Week is something that you guys are really, really excited about.
Yes, absolutely. EVs are the future of transportation. So, as with the Guam Power Authority, we want to guide everyone into the future. So, yeah.
Okay, and then John, it's so important that, you know, we take so much load off of the work that you guys and girls are doing to have power available and everything. But this also really does save people money. And, you know, a lot of people just think, probably naively so, that, oh, GPA is just telling me, you know, like, save money, or, you know, I got to go out and buy the super expensive, you know, refrigerator. But no, you guys are actually really advocating, especially in these days when the cost of everything is going up, that the average consumer can really save a lot of money.
We have a $3 billion a year energy efficient rebate program. Right, so we're really vested in trying to make the planet and Guam greener, and save people money by giving them an incentive to buy that extra bit of energy efficiency and electric vehicle and whatnot. We don't have one yet for electric vehicles, but the federal government has a $7,500 per vehicle tax credit. So that should alleviate some of the cost differences for that.
Yeah, so there is a literal incentive if you are like on the fence right now about getting an EV, or, you know, like you're like, okay, well, you know, I like my gas-powered vehicle. This makes sense, and the government is going to make it worth your while.
There's even a rebate program, like sort of like a grant from the Guam Energy Office for about, I believe it's $3,000 to $3,500 for, depending, I guess, on what vehicle you get. And that's available, and not very many people have taken advantage of that. But you know, it should be made more well known. And all the industry is moving towards electric vehicles. I mean, all the big manufacturers have introduced models, and we did a survey recently with the dealerships on Guam. We reached out to the dealerships and said, "Tell us, what are your plans for bringing out electric vehicles on Guam? And how can we help?"
Well, and I know Governor Lulian Guerrero even said in her most recent State of the Island address that she said, we are really moving towards a EV heavy fleet throughout the government of Guam. And I know the Guam Mass Transit Authority Guam Regional Transit Authority, they're planning to have their entire bus fleet is going to be EV driven. All right, so I guess, Sean, the onus is on you and your team over at Cars Plus, and you guys do fantastic work. My car's from Cars Plus, so I'm looking to upgrade with an EV with you guys. So what types of EVs do you currently have in stock, and like as far as moving your fleet towards that new model, what are you looking at?
So currently we have the Hyundai Kona Electric. We've had them since 2019, and we've sold quite a few to not only just personal customers, but also some of the businesses as well. GCC's just picked up a couple recently, and then like even with EPA, not only with electrics, but they've picked up a bunch of hybrids too, just because they're wanting to go green.
Nice.
But in terms of the vehicles we offer right now, it's the Hyundai Kona Electric, and then we're waiting for the Hyundai Ioniq 5, which is what a lot of our electric customers are really gearing towards, because it's more of that family-friendly size vehicle. It's a step up in size from the Hyundai Kona. Comparable to our Hyundai Tucson, so you're going to get a lot more legroom, and there's going to be a lot of nice features with it. And then on the Stellantis side, which is the Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Fiat, we're also looking at the Jeep 4xe. So that's more of the electric and gas version of the Jeep Wrangler. And then they also have the Grand Cherokee, and Ram is also tabling towards like 2025 to hopefully get their first fully electric Ram truck.
And I got to tell you, Sean, I want to offer you some like customer feedback here. I was walking around my neighborhood as I do every morning just last week. One of my neighbors actually has a Kona EV from you guys. She was actually driving behind me, and she had to like beep so I could get out of the way because I was in the middle of the street. I never even knew she was behind me. That thing is whisper quiet. It's unbelievable. It's even more quiet than like a gas cart.
Yeah.
Or a golf cart, I should say.
So essentially there's really no exhaust, so there's no noise with the vehicle. They actually put safety features with the vehicle, so when it's in reverse, in general, it actually makes a little chime to let people outside the vehicle know, like, hey, this car is on. Because with electric vehicles, you really don't hear anything. Even the motor itself, the motor is very quiet.
Yeah, there was a chicken on the side of the road. I heard the chicken before I heard the car.
Yeah.
That's customer feedback you're only going to get on Guam, guys, by the way. The chicken trumped the car. But, and I can't give you guys any higher praise than that. Okay, and I want to talk about some of the maintenance stuff, but I want to go back to Vic first. You guys actually have a tent that you're putting out at the GPA headquarters on Back Road to Anderson.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to really show off how committed you are.
Yes, we encourage everyone to just stop by. We have several vendors coming through to show off the types of EVs that they have, and we can sit with our customers and look, if you have a certain model you have in mind, and you tell us what car you have, we can show you how much you might be looking at saving over the life cycle of the car. Even in terms of maintenance, you're really only taking your EV in for a tire rotation and some fuel or not fuel, but some fluids that are still in the car, like windshield wiper fluid.
That was the perfect thing I'm going to say. And gentlemen, let's all riff off each other here, because when it comes to the maintenance, I know a lot of people are like, okay, so basically no more oil changes, any filter changes, or any like you said, the tire rotation and basically like balancing, right?
Yeah, you're not going to have to change any oil filters. Your spark plug's not going to go out. There's a lot less maintenance with an electric vehicle.
That is amazing. Yeah. And that, again, Sean, that saves you money over the lifetime of your car.
Oh yeah, just like the average savings per year, you're looking at about $600 just in maintenance cost, and then closer to, especially with current like gas prices, you're looking at closer to about $1,000 a year just in gas alone, versus having to spend on electricity if you do drive that vehicle a good amount per year.
Okay, now because these vehicles are battery based, right? How long does the battery last? If I get a car from Cars Plus and like right off the showroom floor, right, brand new, cherry, like as we say, right? How long can I expect that battery to last over the course of my car?
So what they're saying as far as an average, and this is not just with Hyundai, this is also with like Lexus, Kia, and all the other brands. They're pretty much saying the batteries tend to last between like that 7 to 8 year mark, and it really just comes down to your maintenance of how well you keep that battery. So
that's really good.
7 to 8 years is really good, because the average warranty on most electric vehicle batteries is 10 years or 100,000 miles. Most residents in Guam don't reach 100,000 miles, and a lot of us like to keep the cars very long, so having that peace of mind, something really good to have. But with the battery itself, you are saving in the long run, you are saving on that battery. But as far as the maintenance of the battery, you want to treat it similar to like your phone. If you ever notice you charge
Perfect
your phone
example,
up to 100%, or you leave it charging overnight, the overall usage on the battery actually starts to depreciate. So like with iPhones, I know they give you like a little gauge of what's the battery life left on the iPhone, and it goes from 100 to like 80%. So like with the hybrid batteries, and then also even with the electric batteries, when you are charging them, you want to kind of charge it up to that 80% mark, because that's that sweet spot where you're not going to be depleting the overall percentage of the battery.
Okay.
That's very correct. I mean, the sweet spot for charging is to keep the state of charge of the battery on your car between 20% and 80%. And using that kind of discipline on it can get you about 8 additional miles per charge.
8 miles is far on Guam. That's basically a third of the island. I mean, if I start up at Anderson Air Force Base, I'm like, what? I'm at the Micronesia Mall in 8 miles?
Yep.
That's good. That's good. You can cover a lot of territory there. But John, I also want to bring up the fact that, GPA, you guys are advocates for, good consumer practices. And, you guys are always having these educational campaigns. Like you said, you're reaching out to customers like nonstop about how they can save money. With most Guamanians admittedly saying, I realize that EVs are where we're headed. I'm interested in it, but then they take a look at the sticker price and they're like, I wasn't expecting like that. Tell all of our viewers like right now what the total cost of ownership is and how people benefit from not having to go and get gas, like every 4 or 5 days.
We'll have that number to you later.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have it right off the top of my head. Actually, I'm having people in the States compute that for us.
And that's why we should go and check you guys out at your tent, right?
Yeah.
You're going to
check
find
us
out that
at the
information.
tent. Yes.
Okay, very, very cool. Okay, gents, of course, you guys being engineers and, Sean, you being like an expert salesman, the value in EVs is also because, like Sean perfectly said, it's almost like a big iPhone, right? So the value is in the network, right? Charging stations are expected to really flourish here, in addition to being able to charge at home. How do you guys see the variety of places on Guam where you're going to be able to charge places, and what types of establishments?
You wanna look at large parking lots and stuff like malls and office buildings and maybe even school parking lots. I know we've signed an MOU with to help support Triple J and Blink on making sure that and facilitating the infrastructure. They plan to put out about 100 chargers out in the public, so they're committed. So
over what timetable?
I don't recall.
Okay.
But
100 is really, really good. Yeah.
It's not going to be instantaneous that we're going to get several hundred electric vehicles being bought every year, right? That's going to take a little bit of time.
This is planned
and because
growth.
and because we're a small market, right? Sometimes we're the last to get all the models that we want and in the numbers that we want. But GPA reached out to the dealerships to form a relationship and to let them know that we're willing to create a stakeholder group and help facilitate the introduction of more public charging infrastructure on the island. So we're working on a bid called EV Managed Charging Services. Well, we'll partner with somebody who puts out the charging, sort of like Blink or ChargePoint in the States, and then we would have a stakeholder group, which are the dealerships, and then we would find where are the appropriate places to put them, and how we can facilitate and have that happen.
Sure. Now, Vic, it's also not just for consumers or patrons of, like, say, a restaurant or a movie theater or like John said, maybe even a school. It might be employers also offering EV charging stations for their own employees, and I mean that's a great way to attract someone to go work for like one of the bank or like a KUM. We can say, yeah, we got EV charging places for our own staff.
Absolutely, we should put that at GPA. What do you think, John?
Well, we're already bidding out a solar pavilion. And that solar pavilion will be able to accommodate charging stations, right? So we plan to have solar-powered charging stations at the Guam Power Authority in Manila.
Excellent.
You can feel real good about yourself when you're charging there.
There you go. And even though we're building out this network, and John, I appreciate, as an engineer, how you said this kind of build takes time, and we want to make sure we get it right, so we're not going to rush into this. But Sean, there's nothing wrong with charging at home, and most people would think like that's the most convenient and most sensible way to charge.
Oh, definitely, because I mean, the average person drives about no more than 25 miles a day, and that's really driving. Like for me, I only really drive like 5 minutes to work and then back, and
nice.
Really that's only like less than 4 miles.
Well, Pete Anderson here, like he comes from, he does Harmon to Santa Rita like two or three times a day.
So even at like that's like someone that would really take advantage of like a level 2 charger. But with most customers, the level 1 charger is the ideal because you can just slap it into a normal 110 outlet that you have at home, and you're able to charge it overnight. And with that, most chargers you're getting about 25-30 miles overnight in terms
Are
of
the
that
home
charge.
chargers like brand specific? Are they proprietary to like certain brands, or they're like universal chargers that can couple to like almost anything?
In terms of the chargers, most of them tend to be brand specific, but they are universal as far as the plug itself. So most brands, especially between like the Asian market versus the North American market, they're charging, the actual chargers are pretty much universal. So you just slap them on, or they have like they come with an adapter specific to like a certain vehicle.
Okay, now I don't know a whole lot about a whole lot, but typically I think that there are trade-offs for like most things, as in life, right? So Vic and John, what is typically, I would assume you're using more power if you're charging at home, right? But not that much. So how much can we see our power bill to increase, if anything, like if we're charging at home? And maybe if you got a house that has multiple EVs.
So one of the things that we discuss with the dealerships, right, is that we don't want everybody to go home with your electric vehicle and start charging during the peak time, right?
California's having an issue with that right now.
Yeah. So if you have every single electric vehicle and it becomes quite popular and there are thousands of them out there on the road, then we start to see them accumulate during peak, and that will drive us to have to get more generation. And we don't want to do
that's
that.
the kind of thing that keeps you and Vic up at night.
Yeah, we're like, no, we want to make sure that we maintain and stabilize our peaks and drive all of that charging to other parts of the day where it may be less expensive to charge than on peak. Right? So we need some sort of control or agreement with the EV chargers to help everybody, one, the owner of the EV charger, to get a better deal when he charges, and two, prevention of that accumulation at peak time that may drive electric power costs up, right? So other customers will win as well.
Sure.
So we're trying to get triple wins for the utility, triple wins for the owner of the asset, and triple wins for other for other customers. Those are the best projects that Vic and I have experienced and tried to put together throughout our careers. Mine is pretty much close to being ended, right? But this guy here.
You're only 25, John. You got a long, productive career ahead of you. And you're doing good work for the island. So thank you.
I can work for the island, but 36 years at Guam Power Authority, including my sick leave, right? There's an incentive to look elsewhere, because when you compare your annuity with what you're earning, I'm making $9 an hour at this point. So
okay, well, hopefully the GPA payroll department is listening right now. 'Cause, hey, man, John has certainly earned his stripes. So
yeah, but it's try to find these projects that not only are good for GPA, our customers, and then the owners of the assets, but good for Guam and good for the planet.
Sure. Okay, so Vic, do we have to register to participate in the National Drive Electric event that you guys are having over at GPA?
No, just come over, stop by, and
Very cool.
check out our vendors. Going back to what we were talking about with being concerned about having a bunch of EVs plugged in at the same time, the technology is improving drastically, specifically with the level 2 charging stations. So a lot of them right now, you can connect to your phone via an app. And you get home, you plug in your electric vehicle, but it's not charging yet. You can set it to start charging at 9 p.m. and you can set it to stop charging
Also,
at
it's
1 a.m.
configurable.
Yes.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize that.
Absolutely.
Makes perfect sense.
GPA actually gave one of these special charging stations to University of Guam for their EV, the EV that they have on lease.
Very cool. Hopefully that's going to be the first of many, I'm quite sure. So, Sean, I'd like to give you the final word. Again, a lot of weight now lies on your shoulders, but you guys can handle it really, really capably. I know you guys are super excited, and if anybody wants a Kona EV and everything like that, you got to get behind me because I'm shotgunning one from Sean. So what do people have to know, and what do people most often come to you with questions about EVs, or how it can benefit them?
Typically, like the questions we're seeing with the customers is, what's the warranty? How much am I going to be paying in electricity versus gas? And then what maintenance do I have? So like with the maintenance we were discussing earlier, you have no oil changes. Really, it's just you're worrying about the brakes and tires. That's the only thing you're really worrying about. And then of course your wiper blades. That's your only maintenance for the vehicle. And then in terms of like the warranty, because the vehicle doesn't technically have a powertrain, you have like your standard basic warranty for most brands, 3 years, 36,000 miles.
Yeah.
And then you have that 10-year battery warranty. And then the last one is the electricity. So like the average person now, you're looking at about $52 to about $60 to fill up a car. And that's just your standard sedan. Hyundai Elantra, the Toyota Corolla, that's what you're looking at for a full tank of gas.
Okay.
Now with electricity, not exactly sure what the current rate is from GPA, but the previous rate where it was about like 17 cents, you were looking at about $25 for a full charge. And that full charge with the Hyundai Kona electric, you're looking at about 313 miles for about $25. And
how many times can you go around the island with 313? That's at least like
that's a couple times.
that's 4 laps around the island.
Yeah.
Starting in Manilao and you end up in Tamuning.
I drive a Ford truck.
That is really okay. But Pete again, our camera guy, he's literally salivating on the floor right now. So we got to get Pete a towel. But okay, if people would like to come in and actually take it like a test drive, I mean, I know this it's a different animal technologically. I mean, it's an amazing car. By the way, it looks really, really sweet. It's a nice car. How can they arrange like a test drive, like literally kick the tires and check out EV technology with you guys?
Easiest way is just stop on by, come in anytime. We're open from 8 to 6 for the sales department, and just check any of the sales consultants, and we can definitely take you on a test drive. If you'd like, you can contact me at 671-488-7269. And that's my direct line, and we can get you scheduled for an appointment.
Let's blow his phone up, you guys, because we know a lot of people have questions, and that's what you're here for. So you guys are the best. And real quick, Vic and John, what time are the events going on at GPA? Because I know we're going to head down there, and
it's Friday at 9 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Very cool.
Yes.
Weather's expected to be good then, so we really look forward to it.
And we've been driving our EVs for quite a number of years now. The rides are really smooth, and there's no power lag. When you hit the accelerator, it takes off.
That thing jumps.
That thing jumps, yes.
All right.
Yes, it does.
All right, so gentlemen, thank you very much. We appreciate the info, and we appreciate for what you guys are doing to literally like drive us into the future.
Thanks for having us.
All right, absolutely. All right, please stay tuned because we will be back right after this.